Hello guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to create a portfolio website very quickly with OctoberCMS. I am Noah from Stacknet, and right away we are just going to go ahead and look at what we need to start building our site. To build this or to follow this tutorial, you're going to need a PHP development environment. That is a LAMP stack, a MAMP, or WAMP, depending on which operating system you're using. But the core requirements are PHP 7 plus. To run OctoberCMS, you need a database management system like MySQL. You need a text editor like Sublime Text or VS Code. And if you're an advanced user, maybe using something like Homestead, Composer, and all the tools that most PHP developers use is going to be great. So you might just want to pause the video and set up a PHP development environment for PHP 7 before you continue. Because I'm not going to cover that, though I'm going to provide some resources at the end of this article on how you can easily get that done. For me, to create the project, I'm just going to get into my projects folder, and I'm going to do Composer create project from the October, and I'm going to call it dev folio. That's going to take a while. While that's happening, I want to edit my Homestead file to include the new directory I'm creating. So I'll just copy this, and I'm going to change this to the name of the project is DevFolio, and it's going to be reflected as DevFolio. So this is just my way of setting up the project, and it's not the same way you're going to get it up. I'm basically using Homestead, and I'm going to be using a domain name or a local domain name devfolio.txt. For you, you might just do something like PHP artisan self and have it on maybe localhost 8,000 or 7,000. It totally depends on you. So of course this part is not very relevant for everyone. And then the next thing I want to do is sudo nano etc. So yeah, I want to add in a new domain. Point to Vagrant, and that will be devfolio.txt. Yep. And yeah, that worked. Let me check again. So our project has been successfully created. If I get into devfolio, I can see an OctoberCMS project. So I'm just going to do vagrant up provision so that Vagrant can make this project available for me. Again, this is my way of setting up OctoberCMS to run or creating a new OctoberCMS project. There are several ways to do it, and on the OctoberCMS website, there's even an installer that OctoberCMS. There's even an installer that you can use. Like, there are just so many ways of getting it done. This is an installation wizard. I didn't use that. So that's the first part of the video is not so relevant. So now that we kind of have an OctoberCMS project being prepared, let's go ahead and look at some other things that we might need. We're going to need a theme for this project, and I searched the internet, and the theme that I found that I really liked, and because what I was looking for was a minimal theme and something that is free and open source. So Bootstrap made provided this theme called Defolio, which is really nice, minimal. It just has this project section, the blog section, and the contact form, and then I think a single blog details page, and there's really nothing more to it. The contact form is just part of the home page, so it's minimal, it's clean, it's free, it's open source, so of course we can use it without any problem. Next thing we are going to need to do after setting up our site, of course now it's still being set up in the background, is to get a couple of plugins to do different things in our website. We are going to need the blog plugin, we are going to need the plugin that's going to help us list the projects, and we are going to need the plugin that is going to power the contact form. So as of now, let me see if that's set up. That's not still set up. So let's look at we have gotten the theme. That's what we need to start our website. We have gotten the theme. The next thing, let's look at the plugins I selected for us to use. Sorry. And the last plugin is this. So the first plugin, Indicator.news, is the plugin we are going to use for the blog. I prefer it over the Default Lab plugin because it comes with a lot of flexibility and functionalities. Also, the UI is completely different from RainLab's blog plugin. Let me see, it's available in the October. Yeah, the UI is completely different, as you will see. That's taken a while. Like, I really hate this default UI that it completely looks like the OctoberCMS UI, and there are just a lot of things wrong with it that I don't like. But apart from that, the newsletter website comes with a newsletter subscription functionality and some powerful SEO that you might really want to consider. But if you don't like this plugin, you can still easily follow the tutorial with the blog plugin provided by RenLab. The second plugin we need is the portfolio plugin. This plugin is going to help us be able to list projects. As we can see, there is a section on this website for projects, and we are going to use this plugin to be able to add projects from our backend. And the last thing we are going to use is a Flexi contact form that basically is going to be used to send emails to some address when someone drops something on the contact form for you. So yep, that looks set up. I'm just going to go ahead and check that out. Should be Defolio test. So yeah, we have an OctoberCMS project set up, and most of the time, in fact every time when you set up an OctoberCMS project, this is how it's going to look like from the beginning. So if I do something like /backend, which is the default route for OctoberCMS, you're going to see that database is missing. Since I'm using Vagrant, I'm going to get into Vagrant. That's a mistake. I'm going to get into Vagrant, and yeah, I'm going to do MySQL. I want to create a MySQL database. I'm going to create a database called Defolio, and now I'll exit and I'll cd into code. The name of the project is Defolio. First thing I want to do is to make the project use an environment file, because by default OctoberCMS projects don't use environment files. It uses the .config files. It uses a file. If you get into the config directory, it has some different configuration files, but I prefer using the env file. So I'm going to do php artisan october env, and that will make our project to start using the env file. Next thing I want to do is to edit the env file and add the database details. The name of the database I created is devfolio, and the name of the database user in Homestead is Homestead, and the password is secret. Yeah. So just in case you're wondering what Homestead is, it's an environment. It's pre-done or pre-prepared environment for Laravel development that is offered directly from the Laravel website. So if you want to use Homestead, you can just go to Laravel's website and look at how to do Laravel development with Homestead. So I'm going to do the PHP Artisan October up, which is like PHP Artisan Migrate for those who do what did this say? Access denied, user localhost password, yes. Where am I? Connection. Access denied Homestead. What the heck? Nano.env. The name of the database. Alright, I didn't get the spelling of Homestead right. I put Homestead, so it should be Homestead. I'm going to try that again, and I'll run my command again, php artisan october up, and now that looks like something that will work. Yeah, it worked. So now that the database is up, if we should come here, we have this OctoberCMS backend, and default credentials is admin, so I'm just going to get into it. And yeah, here we go. We have an OctoberCMS project, and we can preview from here again what we already have. So first thing I want to do is to go to settings, and I come to front end theme. I'm going to see the theme that I'm using here first of all. Before we do that, let me open the project in VS Code so that we can get installed. So I'm going to get into projects, portfolio, and I'm going to open it with Sublime Text. You can use VS Code if you want. Here we have the themes folder, and there is one theme inside the demo theme, which is what we are currently seeing in the browser. But I don't want this theme, so I'm just going to first of all delete the current theme and change. So in fact, let me just delete the current theme. I'm going to go into the config folder, and I'm going to look at the CMS config. The name of the active theme is demo, so I'm going to delete that theme, and I'm going to create a new theme called devfolio. And if we should come here again, we're going to have a problem because there's no such theme. And the next thing I want to do is to remove recursively. I want to remove from the themes folder the demo, and yeah, that's done. And from what's happening from here, I want to create a blank theme. The name of this theme will be devfolio, and this is a copy of the bootstrap made devfolio theme for OctoberCMS, and the author is friends. Yes, you can put in your GitHub URL there. I don't have time for that. I can add it later. So we have a new theme, and if I should take that page not found, now you can find the theme, but there's no page. So the first thing we want to do is to create a couple of pages for our blog. And how can we do that? I'm going to come to the CMS. first page I want to create is like the home page. It's just going to have slash, and the title of the page is home page. You can write some description if you want, but for now I'm good. And the next thing I want to add is the blog details page and the project details page. That's all we are going to have. So I'm going to add blog detail, and the URL will be blog slash maybe when you do this slash slug. When you do this in OctoberCMS, it means you're trying to create a dynamic URL. So it's going to be something like maybe blog slash one slash the slugged URL. I can just take this off for purposes of simplicity. Just have the blog slash slug, and I'm going to save that, and I'm going to change the name of this page. I don't want to have capital letters. Home page, or maybe just simply home. Then I'm going to create another page called project detail. And it's going to be under projects, and I think it's item slug for the plugin we are going to use, but I'm going to show you why. By default, I am not supposed to know, but since I have done the project several times, or I've used the plugin several times, I know. All right, so we have a home page, we have a blog detail, and we have a project detail. If I should run that, our home page is empty, meaning that our team is indeed working. Now that we have the Bootstrap template, I think I should download it if I've not done so already. Download, okay, that's done. And if I should look at it in the download folder, I want to copy it to my projects directory and extract. So I'm going to get into dev folio, and I'm also going to open it with Sublime Text. First thing I want to do is to get into dev folio and copy like all of the resources. I'm going to contact, we have some JavaScript files, some CSS stuff, so I'm going to copy these resources. I'm going to copy all of these resources. Now we are at the step of actually importing the theme into OctoberCMS, so it's quite crucial for you to know. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to find my project. What's the name of the project again? It's dev folio, and I'm going to come into themes, dev folio, and I'm going to come into assets and paste all of the assets that I copied from the theme right here. Right now I will come to Sublime Text. Here we are, and I'm going to copy this home page, and I'm going to bring it into dev folio code. I'm going to come to themes, dev folio, pages. I'm going to come to the home page which I created in OctoberCMS admin, and I'm just going to paste that. If I should come again to the folio.test, you're going to find some HTML, but the styles don't load because I just copied the page, but the assets don't load. So how can we like loading the assets? First thing I want to do is to check where these styles are. So they are now in the assets directory, so I'm going to do assets in OctoberCMS. This is how we load styles. We use two curly brackets, and we add like that, and I say it's a theme element by using that, and then I'll come here and say anywhere. That's how I'm replacing it manually, but to do it with Sublime Text, I'm going to do something like this. I'm going to say anywhere you see href that you should change it to this asset, replace all. That has all been changed. .css. You should replace that to this is going to be problematic if you have an external style sheet. You can just ensure that there's none, or if there is any, you correct whatever error might have been introduced. So let me test if that changed anything. So yeah, it changed something, but clearly not everything. It's still loading. Let me see if it's waiting for anything that well, it changed a couple of things, but yeah, assets, I didn't put a slash, so there was some structure, but our own CSS was clearly not loaded. So this time around, yeah, we have successfully imported our theme with all of the CSS into OctoberCMS at this point, and it's taken quite a while to load because it's the first time. No, that's not the reason, because I've not yet added the JavaScript files. So when we come right down to the end, we'll find out that the JavaScript files are here, and for me to load, to replace, I'm just going to use the quick replace functionality of yeah, replace, and I want to do that for the end as well. It's a theme element, and great. So I have some extreme cases here that were not covered by my mass replace. So I'm just going to fix that by hand. Okay, I think now our site should work pretty well. Like, we can just stop and let me load it again. All right, so our site has loaded with all of the CSS, but for a single thing, and that thing is pictures. We can't find the pictures, and to correct it, we are just going to use the same approach I used in replacing the CSS file. So I copied all the assets, so I can just put the new directory. This would be, what the heck am I doing here? Asset img, yeah, and I want to replace all. Again, this can be a problem if you are using external resources, but you just have to be careful. If there's a PNG image or images with other extensions, I might have an error because there might be one left out picture. This picture loaded, some other picture did not load. Why did that not happen? Let me see if there are any PNG pictures here. Yeah, we have this, and this is kind of a theme element. And maybe the background picture doesn't load because it's in the CSS. So I'm just going to check CSS styles, and I'm going to see if there's any PNG or PNG something in it. There's nothing. So why does that not work? All right, here we go. We need to put in assets, and I'm going to see if that will work this time around. Didn't work. So of course, oops, sorry, I didn't add the OctoberCMS requirements. So this should work this time around. And yeah, so we have imported everything. The home, about services, work, block, URL. So what I want to do next is to just make sure that the blog page is equally imported. So I'm just going to come back to the folio, and I'm going to go to blog single, and here that's going to be a little bit hectic. So I'm going to copy our page here and take it into blog detail. Oh, nonetheless, I'll come here, partials. I want to create not partial, I want to create a new layout to like be shared between the blog and the projects page, since I want the projects and blog page to look similar. So I'm just going to say create me this new layout, and the name of the layout is main layout. Save. So in the layout folder I should have that, and I'll paste all of the code from the home page, but I'm going to delete most of the sections. I'm going to remove the introduction section, the about section. I'm just going to remove a lot of things, services, blog section, and so we are going to have container. That's like the footer. So anything above the footer, I'm going to delete it. Yeah. So that worked, and I'm going to come back to the editor and say pages. For the blog detail, use the main layout, save, and for the project detail, use the main layout, save. So let me try to see if I can access that page, /blog/ any random string. Unexpected error title. Where did I keep title? Okay, main.line2. Let me see. Main. Either ways, that was just a trial. So I'm just going to pause that at that level and actually import the plugins that we need to make this work. Right here we have settings. So to import the plugins, I'm going to go to settings, update plugins, and I'm going to install, like I said, I'm going to install news plugin. I'll wait for that to come up. News and newsletter. I'm going to install the portfolio plugin, and the portfolio plugin is the one created by Arizal Amin. So I'm going to type portfolio. Yeah, And then the last plugin I want to install is the Flexi Contact plugin. Flexi Contact, yeah. So now that I kind of have all of the plugins in place, I want to go to my CMS and say, all right, on the various pages on the home page, I want to add a couple of components. I want to add the list of posts, and I'm going to call them news posts, and I'm going to save that. And when I open my my home, I have a component called news post. So I'm just going to, below the head, write something like set post equal to news post dot post. I'm going to come to the place where I have I'm going to search for blog, and we have a blog down here. So we have each block item being cards of 4. I'm just going to delete all of that and leave only 1. So there are just 3 blocks in a row, and I'm going to say for posts in posts, right? And I want to end for. So at this level, I would just want to do something like post the image, and I'll convert this to media. Uploaded images, use the media, and I would use posts dot URL, and again here I'm going to use post URL, and here it's going to be like post the title, and here for the footer, let me just copy this. I'm going to come back to the and maybe name of author should be, well, I see this part being like some profile for the author that has the avatar and his name. I don't find this necessary, so I'm just going to delete that. Yeah. So if I should visit homepage again, come down to the blogging section, there's 0 blog posts because here there are actually no blog posts there. So I'm going to come to our news plugin and add a new post. This is the first blog post on the tutorial, and well, there are no categories, so I want to add one first. Tutorial, okay. New posts, tutorial, how to create an October blog, and I want to add an image. This, or let me just upload from my computer. I could just upload any screenshot or whatever. Yeah, that screenshot of me works. I could upload that instead and say, let me just get some Lorem Ipsum from the internet. Lorem Ipsum generator. And yeah, it's quite slow. We have Lorem Ipsum. I can post that here and here. And I'm going to create a blog post and I'm going to give it the status of published. And when I come back to post, now I want to visit my blog again and check if my newly blog post appeared. So right now we have the newly created blog post that appears right here. How to create a blog with OctoberCMS. I want to see if it's using the right URL. As you can see, it uses the URL devfolio.test/blog slash how to create an October blog, whatever. It's supposed to be and not and. But so we go back to our error, syntax error, unexpected title on main dot. So I'm going to see home. So let's go back to the main and see what happened. Well, there are two equal tos. There is just supposed to be one. That's the error causing that. And right now things should work as expected. So things do work as expected, but not as perfectly as expected. So let's see why. I think the reason is because on the home page there's some black background, and on the other page, let me look at the live review. Here we have log. Let me open one of these. All right. Yeah. So benefit of doubt, I'm just going to come to the block single and use that. So I'm going to do the work I was running away from after all. Main, yeah. And that was going to be, first thing I want to do is I'll just go to home and copy all of this code here, make a reference and bring it to project details or to the main. And again to home to copy the JavaScript files. Hopefully I don't override anything. Or okay, they all look very similar. And if I should visit the block again, yeah, that works. So I want to do a couple of things. I'll go back to the CMS, and on the blog desktop page, what I want to do is to add a component called post content. Yeah, so it's going to be news post, and I'm going to save that, and when I come back here I should be able to see, oh, this is the main, that's not the blog video. So I'm going to copy everything in the body. The nav, I'm going to leave that. Intro, I'm going to copy all of these and end where the footer is. Where There's a footer. Yep. So I'm going to end where the footer is, and I'm going to add the page template placeholder there, and yeah, and inside blog details, I'm just going to put that here. You see the blog post element, I added this right here. So if I come back here to the folio, I indeed have the right page. So I want to say set this post equal to news post the post, if I'm not mistaken, and just to try that out, I'm going to add post the title. Let's see if that went well. Unknown post tag. It's supposed to be post.what. Oh my god, I did change that. We have set. Oh my god, set. Yeah, so that works. Home category data. I might just want to remove one of these and just leave it at home, and maybe try to print the post category the name, if that's going to work. Yeah, that worked. So search recent posts, that will need a couple of plugins. I could just maybe come here to search. I want to delete the search widget. I'm not going to use that. I want to delete the recent posts. Yeah, well, there's a plugin I made called news page views. Is a plugin for this blog plugin that can help you to add the sidebar of recent posts. But in this tutorial, we don't need that, so I'm just going to take all of that off, and I might leave the tags. I might just leave the tags here because I might want to add them at the end. Next thing I want to do is to add the actual image of the post. So post thumbnail should be post image, and we have the media stuff at the end like that. So yeah, and I want to put in the title again. Post the title. I don't know how to reference the author. I'm going to check. Post dot no dot category, the name. This should be post dot user dot get full name attribute, if I am not mistaken. So I want to maybe hide this. It will be useful in future. And let's see if there's any error anywhere. So yeah, that worked. The picture appears, my name, admin person, tutorial. And then I want to take off the comment section because we don't support comments on this blog for now. And the reply section, I just want to take out box comments. And if I'm taking that out, I should take out the form that permits people to comment, because people don't want to leave comments that they won't see. And then last thing I want to do is to delete all of these paragraphs and just do maybe post dot introductory and then post dot content is depends to you, whatever you want to use. Yeah, so we have the post of introductory and post of content, but I can see the paragraph tags showing, so I want to change this to that, to let it know that I want to render the HTML tags. What the heck? What did I just do? Is it I think this is not the right syntax for uh, OctoberCMS. I'm mixing up Laravel and OctoberCMS. This is supposed to be /raw. Yeah. So something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully it works this time. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it worked this time without rendering the HTML tags. So we have successfully integrated our blog, and if we come to the home page, it doesn't work yet. I'll need to come to the main, and I want to change this to kind of be like let's see, home / page, and yeah, about services, all of that doesn't exist, so I'm taking that off. Contact, it's just on our home page. So this is the folio, and the page is the home with the page filter. Next thing I want to do is add home with the page filter, and after that I say hashtag blog. And the next thing I want to do is have this with the hashtag contact. I'm going to copy this and put it in the home page as well, because the home page does have so if I should refresh that, we have the folio, it takes me back home, and on the home page, if I should visit the blog, it takes me what the heck, where did it take me to? All right, it takes me to the blogging section. The contact takes me to the contact form, like that. So we have integrated our blog, and we can actually visit our blog and read an article. Next thing I want to do is to integrate projects. So let's go back home. I'm going to come back to the CMS, and I'm going to get to pages, home, and I will say the next thing I want to integrate is portfolio, and I'll say portfolio list and save. when I save that, one thing I want to do is I don't really know how the portfolio list items are iterated over. So for me to have a workaround for that, I'm just going to add like a component somewhere after the body, which I will delete. I'm just going to give enough space, and I'll add a component, and I'll call the component what's this called, portfolio. Yeah, I'm going to call it that, and I'll close the component. I'm going to save that, and if we should visit the home page, we'll probably find that somewhere. Yeah, this is a component of portfolio, which is pretty bad, but I just want to use it to see how things are iterated over. So when I add a component, I can fork it like that, and I'm going to see all the code on how the component is being made, and I'll get back to my editor. When I get to home, I can quickly see that the loop for item in portfolio, the portfolio, so I can just copy this and get to where I see portfolio. A little bit unproductive, but yeah, we have the list of portfolio items here. So I'll just delete all of them except one for the loop, and above that I'll paste what I copied from up there, and I'm just going to end the for like that. Yeah, now that's done. I want to see what other things they use. Video URL, nope. Images, first image, yeah, I want to copy these. Description, item description, the raw. So I'm just going to copy this and delete this. This is for pagination. I don't think we really need that, so I'll just delete that for now, and close up all the space I added, and get back to the real portfolio section down there and paste the code to be inside. I want to see here, I want to see change this to item. I want to change this to item title, and let me see if there's such thing as a date. Yeah, there's a date, so I'm just going to post that here. And what else? There's a brief description, but I can't find a place for that brief description here. So I'm going to copy the code for their image. I'm going to remove this and this and this and this. Nope. Yeah, I'll remove that. I just want to add an image. Image path, set image. Yeah, I want to copy this and this, and I'm going to put that right here. What I'm going to remove is this. Image path is going to be here too. This is this is an image. I'm going to put that here. So that should so I want to just cut this and see what our block looks like. So if I should visit portfolio, yeah, there is a project there, because under portfolio, when you install it, there's some default project, there is no photo for it. So let me see if I could just add one image and have screencast. What was I doing? Let me just add one picture and see if it's going to appear, if we had everything right. Yeah, it does appear, but the picture is really long. Maybe you'll find a better image for something pretty size. Yeah, so save that and check it out again. That should, yeah, so we have this, and if I should click on the image, that's because I did something terrible. I put in the, I'm going to item.page URL is what I need here, and in the place of image path here, I'm going to put in that. Where else am I supposed to put that? Yeah, just there. Is there any other thing I might need from here? Not really. I'm just going to delete that. So right now I have the blog slash default because I have not set the page. So I'm going to come back to my CMS and say home slash portfolio. I want to say the page. There should just be 3 of them on the page, and it should be ranked in, I don't know, you choose. And the page for this is project Zito. So everything about it is project Zito. Save. And for the blog, I'm sure that the page for it was already like set. Yeah, that's why everything worked correctly. But if something didn't work correctly for you, you should check that out. Now that that has been set, let's check this out again. We have project slash default. Yeah, the tag for this is default. When I click on that, it does some silly rendering, which I don't want to see, so I'm going to remove that and rather. So I don't want to see that. I'm just going to come back to this theme where the portfolio stuff is, and image. I don't want to have that feeling of a click. I'm just going to take off maybe data like box, and yeah, that should work. Item page URL. Yeah, that takes us to the project details page. So by default it should just be like the project, like the blog details page. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it here, but I'm going to delete the upper part of it since we don't need it like that. And here we are there. We are going to have some issues, so I wanted to post everything, or rather I I should just come to here, project detail, and add the project item and see. So when I add a project item, I want to create a component to see how things look. So I'm going to say component, we're going to call it item, and I'm going to close the component, and I'm going to click on it to fork and see. So we just have item.item. So here, if we should come to the code, we're going to see here, I'm going to say set that the project, go to item.item, and I'm going to change everywhere there's a post dot something. So project dot everything. Yeah, I can now remove this component like that. This is not going to work, but let's just save that and see. So project tag not set. The mistake is I do not add the set right there, and yeah, we have some project which is selected by, we have item slot. Yeah, that's not the right stuff. I put item hyphen slot. It should be item slot. So I'm just going to go back to the CMS leave page. Before I leave the page, I want to copy this because my read CMS. Oh no, stay on page. I want to change this to item slot. Now that that's done, I want to come back here and click here, and default didn't get it. Alright, we have well, it should be item slot. I think I did change that already. We have description, the raw. I want to replace what was in the post content with that description. That would be more like project right there. And title, created ad tags. I don't think I'm interested in that. I'll just get this, and I can delete most of this. I'll just remove this, it's not going to be needed. And here, this is not going to be needed as well. I could peacefully add the tags for the project, but I'll just remove this and let's see what that looks like. Just folio with nothing still. Alright. right? So we now have project proactively disseminate, meaning that is actually using the right URL. So we're going to have our project. So we have that, and the last thing I want to add is the image for the project, which should be at I'm just going to go to home, and there was a place where we did that. Yeah, here is it. Get back into project details, and yeah, I want to delete all of this, delete all of this, and I'll just change this to product project, and this will just be image like that. And invalid part, what happened? Sorry, we just have what did I do? We have image.path, yeah. So I'm supposed to do image.path for that to load. Yeah, so now we have the project section of our website working. You come to the website, you can now add new blog articles, or you want to add new projects. Last thing we want to do for this episode of what tutorial is to like power the contact form. Like the contact form isn't working. I'm just going to show you how to integrate the Flexi plugin. Most other plugins work in a similar way. To get this form working, but to actually send the emails, because when someone submits, it has to send an email. You have to do a couple of other integrations, and I might want to do that in a separate video and not in this one, because this one is a little bit long. So I'm going to come back to CMS, and components. I'm going to come to pages, home, and components. I want to add the contact form. So I'm going to say flexi contact, display contact form, and the name of it is contact form. So somewhere in the bottom, contact footer star. Yeah, I want to add the component there and inspect it. So I'm going to add the component. What is it called? Contact form, and boom. When I save that, I can stop the code and save again. Then I come back to the home. If I should come to where the contact form is, yeah, what I'm interested in is just this top part of the form, where the form is submitted to and what is done after that. So I'm just going to copy this and change the head part of my form to that, and do some annotation. Yeah, And what else do I want to do? I want to copy this code and add it to the form, so that if there's a captcha somewhere in the form, it should appear. Yeah. You should do automatic indentation. And last thing I want to do is to delete this form. This will contain the information when the email is successfully sent. I'm going to leave that there. And to use the flexi contact form, according to the documentation, one needs to add the framework and extras in the footer. So framework extras. So let me just go back to the folio and see if I've added that. No. So I'm going to add framework and framework extras. Now I can go ahead and this should be on the home page, because the contact form is on the home page and it doesn't actually use the name. So yeah, so yeah, I'm back here, and if I should take submit, it actually works and it returns some information. So if I should say name, font, and the email is nomad at startnet.com, and the subject is hey there, I had some problems. Following following your tutorial. Then click send. The body field is required, so it means that I need to change one of the elements in the form to give it the name body. Where is the text? So I will just have to change this to maybe body, and yeah, once I refresh, I can probably send that without any issues. Address, mailbox, blah 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 does not exist. So that worked technically, and now I have to set an email address in the back end to like receive the emails when someone fills the form. So I have to put the recipient email and the subject and the confirmation text that is emailed back to whoever fills the form. So for this episode, I'm just going to end there, and I'm probably going to make another video on how you can set up emails to work with maybe Mailgun or SendGrid, a couple of services to just complete the setup of your blog. But basically, that's how you can quickly set up a blog in OctoberCMS. You can just download the theme, import it to OctoberCMS, and add a couple of plugins. And yeah, there you go. You could change the name, put whatever you want, and take out irrelevant sections like I did. You could take off this section. But the most important thing is just the dynamic part where you actually have to like add functionality. So thank you, and see you in the next tutorial, where I'm probably going to do some finishing touches depending on your feedback, or in another video. Thank you.